Peace is a lie. There is only passion. Through passion I gain strength. Through strength I gain power. Through power I gain victory. Through victory my chains are broken. The Force shall free me. Hello everyone, and welcome to the first Star Wars review of 2017. And we're going to start this off with a bang with a really excellent book called Darth Bane, Path of Destruction by Drew Karpyshyn. This is the first of the Darth Bane trilogy that wraps up the Old Republic era. In it, we follow Darth Bane from his roots as a miner into becoming Dark Lord of the Sith and redefining the Sith Order and creating the Rule of Two. This book is really good. It's considered by many to be one of the best Sith novels out there. But this, let me tell you, it's really good. I'm going to be honest with you. I was really into the Old Republic in high school. When I got back into Star Wars, I was reading the Knights of the Old Republic comic book series. I love that. I love Tales of the Jedi. I've read most of what the Old Republic has to offer, except the novels. In recent years, I've kind of just gone away from the Old Republic because, that's something I knew a lot about and I didn't really feel like reading. But I realized after reading Jedi vs. Sith, which, if you haven't seen the review for that, check that out down below. I made it, I think, a couple years ago now. I realized there was a part missing. And that part was Bane's perspective. Because Jedi vs. Sith is the battle that takes place in that is the battle at the end of this book. And, wow. Before we get into that, let's discuss this book. This book is sort of the chronicles of Bane's life. It starts off with him as a young-ish man. He's not too young. We don't have, some angsty teenager, because, that would have been horrible. But instead, we have a man who's down on his luck, is crippled with debt, and is kicked out of the only job he has, which is mining, due to fighting. Bane ends up gambling with some Republic soldiers, and when he wins, using the Force that he doesn't know he has, they get very upset with him and they try to kill him. He ends up killing one of them and has to flee. So he joins the Sith army and becomes a sergeant, I do believe. Becomes an officer, so to speak. And then later becomes a Sith apprentice. And of course, a Dark Lord of the Sith. And Khan's Brotherhood. Now, Khan has created the Brotherhood of Darkness, which tries to unite the Sith into sort of a brotherhood, as opposed to killing one another like the Sith usually do. So anyway, the climax of the book is, of course, the Battle of Ruusan, where the Brotherhood of Darkness and the Army of Light face off to the bitter end. And of course, we kind of know what's going to happen if you read Jedi vs. Sith, but if you haven't, and you haven't read this book, I won't spoil it, but let me just say, it is intense. This whole book is intense, but the climax of it is just electric. This is one of those books where you'll have a hard time putting it down. It is so good. It may be one of the best expanded universe novels I've ever read. It's not the best, but man, I put this in my top 5. Bane is awesome. The supporting characters are awesome. But we have our EU contradiction in here. There is a certain character who dies a completely different way than she died in Jedi versus Sith. She tells Bane some last words before she dies in the comic, as opposed to the novel where they never see each other once this incident happens and she dies. And also, we really don't see the Jedi versus Sith characters, the kids, until the the epilogue chapter. And those events are slightly different because, well, the only things that had been established about the Battle of Ruusan were Jedi vs. Sith and then Bane of the Sith, which is a short story in the Star Wars Gamer by Kevin J. Anderson. And these all came out in the early 2000s, whereas this came out much later. So, And also, things are said differently. That's a big deal. It's two different perspectives. So, yeah, things like this happen sometimes. But other than that, this is a superb read. I highly recommend this book. I give it 4.8 out of 5 stars. It would have been a 5 out of 5 star book if it didn't have the contradictions. So anyway, happy 2017, and I will see you next time for some more Star Wars reviews. Take care, everyone.